What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Tricky Jim at Full Grip Games. Going to be playing an expanded Pokemon trading card game online game today with Buzzroc. I'm going to start testing for the Anaheim Regional Championship since that is the next regional championships that I'm going to be attending. Really excited about it. Haven't been to a regionals since Oaks, Pennsylvania, so it's been a little bit of a while for me. And expanded is always an interesting format to dive into. There are so many options. The more I build decks for expanded format, the more I kind of realize that decks just have too many cards that are good to play in them at this point. Now, that's not necessarily a problem for decks. I mean, who could complain about having too many good cards for a deck? Buzzroc is one of those decks for sure, where there are probably just 70 cards that you want to play in this deck, but you can only play 60. However, I think that deck building is going to be rewarded a ton at the Anaheim Regional Championships because, oh my gosh, look at this hand. This is horrible. Because of just how limited you are on space and having to make those tough calls as to what you actually end up playing. Goodness, I really hope that I get a Brooklet Hill or something like that off the top here. I have a mulligan, and then I also have a top deck for turn. Actually, two mulligans. Oh my gosh, we've got a Pseudo-Wudo. That's not what I need. I need a... Yes! We did it. All right, so this hand was going to be absolutely atrocious otherwise. We're just going to go in with all three copies of our Max Elixir here. See how many... And now I put it to scoops. We were going to get like a turn two Knuckle Impact there. That was going to be insane. And yeah, that is the power of Buzzroc. That's why I think Max Elixir is still so good. Despite there being a limited amount of space in Buzzroc lists, I've still found a way to jam 4 copies of Max Elixir in this deck. I think it's absolutely required. Just Max Elixir is so good. And of course, just like my Dallas list from last year, I am not playing Versus Seeker in Buzzroc. I don't think it's needed. I think you just want to draw cards. That's all you want to do. Buzzroc can lose if it starts with a Versus Seeker hand, and you just don't need to play Versus Seeker. All it wants to do is play draw cards and Guzmas, and you could just play draw cards and Guzmas and be totally fine. So, let's see. I think I got... Who is not awesome? Is that Riley? I think I got paired against Riley, and Riley auto scooped against me. Is that Riley, or is that's like one of my friends not awesome there? So we are starting off with a blast here. Not a lot of people testing on Expanded, apparently, so that is hilarious. We're going to try and get an actual game going with Buzzroc here, and if not, then we'll just run, I don't know, Mahone's little podcast where he talks about Buzzroc and tries to cue games. That's fun as well. I don't mind it. If that's what today is going to be, that's what today is gonna be. Hopefully we don't get paired against, what is this, Riley again? No, this is C-Y-Y-Y Yet. Sayet. Kayet. I don't know. But we'll see what Sir Kayet has in order for us. We are going to try to get in here with the Buzzroc list. That was going to be an insane turn. I can't believe... I'm really salty my opponent didn't let me play out that triple Max Elixir turn 1. That was going to be insane. Another mulligan hand here, so it's unfortunate. We are playing against... What in the world is this? A Shedinja deck? Oh my gosh. Hopefully we can kind of just run them off the board really quick with Jet Punch. That's like really what this deck wants to do. It just wants to go in with Jet Punch early and just annihilate all the little Pokemon, right? All the little Pokemon with like little hit points. You just want to go in early, knock them out with Jet Punch. This starting hand is not optimal, but it's cool. We'll work with it. And yeah, we've got Nincada in the active, and all right, a bunch of Nincadas. We're just going to attach our fighting energy in here, and we're going to Sycamore. It's unfortunate we have to ditch all those energies, but it's fine. We'll be okay. We can Brooklet Hill for a Buzzwole. We can put our own Rockruff down, which is rad, and we got a supporter for next turn. I can retreat this thing. I could just do it now. That's probably fine. And next turn we've got a Buzzwole ready to go. Cool. And I can computer search for I don't know, I can computer search for anything and then just end. And this deck is pretty much, ready to roll at that point. I could go get a Beast Energy and make sure that I'm knocking out these Ninkatas in one hit, or just a Strong Energy. They've only got 40 hit points, but Beast Energy would definitely be aggressive. I am kind of just curious as to what in the world my opponent's doing. They might be playing like Shedinjas or something in here and trying to decrease the amount of prizes that I am taking with it, which could be, kind of annoying. But Jet Punch is just such a powerful attack, honestly, in an expanded format where there's like a lot of convoluted strategies. I think that's like a thing in expanded, is just that people try to play too much. They have too, you got a lot of really good ideas, right? There's a lot of possibilities in expanded format, but you just can't make it all happen in the same deck. So I think sometimes simplicity ends up just being the best policy for expanded, and that's why Buzzroc does so well, because it is just the most simple archetype. There's really not a lot of flair to the deck. It's just the good same old deck that it always was, and it does exactly what you want it to every time. All right, Dig, what would that have done? Prevent all effective attacks on this Pokemon. Ooh, that would have been bad. Okay, so we've got computer search, we've got an Ultra Ball. I honestly am a little bit salty about this turn one from my opponent. We can go and knock out this Mime, though, but then I leave this Ninkata in the active, which is not good. I could get Lycanroc up the Mime, Jet Punch that thing. Let's put the Brooklet Hill down, and let's also probably computer search. We'll get the Diancie here. We definitely want that. I do have a Lycanroc in deck. I do have my Octillery in deck as well. So we probably get the Diancie. That's good. Then I could go get the Beast Energy with the computer search here. I don't really mind that, so we could just go get that Beast Energy, and that way if I guess I don't need the Beast Energy. I could get a Strong Energy. That would do it. That would do the 70 damage that I needed to do with the Diancie. So that way I could just end here, and if I end into a Lycanroc, which we did, then I can bring up the Mime and knock that out. So that's pretty cool. I also have the Ultra Ball here, so I can go and get like let's see, we got to bring up that Mime for sure. I could go and get my Octillery this turn as well, though I'm not exactly sure that I need it. So I think I can just Jet Punch, though. The Guzma could be good for next turn as well. Let's see here. The Sycamore could be good too. And I don't think that my opponent's actually going to be playing too many GX Pokemon. That's kind of like my suspicion here. So I will just get the Octillery out for stability's sake and just say, you know what, I don't really need the Sycamore anymore now that I just have like, a pretty stable board position. Maybe I spoke a little bit too soon and, I've got myself into this weird hand, but that's fine. I'm going to take another prize and our bench damage gets blocked, but that's fine. Hopefully my opponent doesn't counter my Stadium here and I am able to go get myself a second Buzzwole or something to start charging up with this Max Elixir. If not, I am happy just putting a Fighting Energy onto my Lycanroc or something like that. This thing's going to be hitting me for probably 70 damage again, which is annoying, but I really want a 2-prize turn here, and that's like kind of my ideal scenario. However, with the teammates, I'm sure my opponent is going to be fetching a Rescue Stretcher or something like that, which is going to bring that Mime back into play and just be very annoying for me to deal with, all together. So I'm interested to see how my opponent's deck actually attacks or what it plans on doing. Do they plan on using Dig every single turn? If so, do they plan on flipping heads to prevent damage? I did see that Shedinja in there. I'm just not sure what the Shedinja does. So I think they plan on flipping heads here. They just have not flipped heads yet, but that's fine. We got Brooklet Hill. We can get ourselves another Buzzwole. We'll probably get this one, honestly. That just seems very good. Because, yeah, this thing is going to go down here eventually. Let's try to max elixir, and we do hit that. So that's great because we can attach that there and then this one here. And I think I just jet punch. I mean, like, I don't really want to, just thinking, like, I don't really want to bring up that Mime again. I think I just need to knock out this Nincada, as frustrating as that is. And you know what? This Buzzwole is going to go down eventually, but that's fine because then I do have the Sledgehammer Buzzwole, and I can just Guzma and knock out the Mime again with that. But it looks like this is my opponent's strategy, is just to dig and use Hustle Belt. So never thought I'd see that, but expanded format is just this format, ripe with possibilities. There are so many different card combinations, so many different deck ideas that are kind of unsearched as well, which is really exciting about expanded format because there are so many untried strategies that you don't really know everything. People don't spend enough time in expanded format because there aren't that many expanded format tournaments throughout the course of the year. There are a few, but the majority of the championship point structure takes place in standard format, meaning that most players are going to be spending their time in standard format. But those players that do spend a lot of time trying to unravel, the best strategies in expanded format are often rewarded with their deck building and their creative ideas. So they did get a heads there. That's fine. I've got Guzma in my hand, so I am going to Guzma and knock out that Mr. Mime. That is our order of business here. So let's get that thing taken care of for sure. Let's bring out the Mime. I could also Beast Ring, which is cool. I guess we just probably Beast Ring to this Buzzwole GX on the bench here. I don't really mind that. Let's do that. Go grab ourselves 2 energies out the deck. Throw those onto, I guess. We could throw them both onto that, and then we can attach manually to the active Buzzwole and Brooklet Hill. Do we want anything else off Brooklet Hill? I guess I could get another Rockruff just in case. That's fine, more or less. I think that I have a Lycanroc in the discard pile. I do. The Lycanroc, is weak to grass, so that's a little bit concerning. I think, honestly, at this point, probably Buzzwole GX makes the most sense. Though I don't really know that I want to bench it yet. If we do hit another Beast Ring, though, we could accelerate. So I guess I'll just get that. That's fine. And we will Abyssal Hand for 2. Draw some more cards. Totally fine. We've got a Floatstone. We've got some Ultra Balls. That's all good. Let's just Sledgehammer this thing for knockout. Go down to 3 prizes. Next turn, I can thin my hand with those Ultra Balls and target down whatever I want on my opponent's side of the field. And I want to continue to put pressure on their Mr. Mime so that eventually they miss the Mr. Mime and then I can take a 2-prize turn. That's kind of my dream, right? Is to Guzma up a Nincada and take 2 Nincada knockouts with 1 Jet Punch. So we're going to continue to knock out that Mime, right? And they're probably about to just go ahead and teammates for a Rescue Stretcher again. That's fine. Eventually, they have to run out of ways to bring that Mr. Mime back. That's what you gotta hope for anyways, and that's kind of it. I mean, how many Rescue Stretchers can you really run? Probably 4. They could probably run 4, honestly. And a deck like this, where your Pokemon are getting knocked out all the time, they probably do run close to 4. And they also have that Ditto Prism Star there, so that's pretty cool. They can evolve that into a Shedinja or whatever they plan on evolving there, or an Octillery. That's fascinating. I'm interested to see the ways that Ditto Prism Star ends up finding its way into competitive decks in expanded format. My opponent taking their time on that teammates there, making their decision. They got 2 cards. One of them's probably a Rescue Stretcher. They know that Jet Punch pretty much loses them to the game. And finally, we got a glimpse of that Shedinja there, but I didn't get to take a good look at it. So hopefully it comes down into play and I can really see what it's all about. That is a Floette. Each of your grass Pokemon gets plus 20 hit points. That's interesting. So Hustle Belt no longer works. But they did. Okay, now it works again because they used the Shedinja. Put 1 damage counter on each of your opponents. This attack does 50 damage times the amount of damage counters on this Pokemon. Ooh, that's kind of crazy. Okay, so they came screaming in there and did a ton. So this thing's got plus 20 hit points. So it's got 50 and it's got 4 damage. This is actually like really cool. So like props to my opponent for a really cool deck idea. For sure, we're going to take 2 prizes this turn though, like for sure. So that is not going down. We're going to put the Octillery in the active position because we got a Floatstone in our hand. We are taking 2 prizes this turn. That is not okay. So we like that. And then we've got the strong energy here, so I can easily just, Guzma up the Nincada. Cool with that. We'll Ultra Ball away these cards here, see if there's anything else we want. We'll get Rockruff and just put it on the bench just to have it. I saved the Ultra Ball just so that in case we hit Super Rod or something, that we can actually bring up go get myself another Lycanroc in case we need something like that in order to win the game. We will Abyssal Hand for, 4 cards? Yep. And we've got ourselves another Max Elixir as well. I'm just going to burn it. I think I don't even have any fighting energy left in the deck. That's fine. And my opponent's going to scoop it up. They know that I'm about to take that 2 prize turn there, go down to 1 prize remaining, and I've got enough kind of firepower on the bench that I'm going to be able to take that final prize. So sweet stuff there. Let's roll another one. 3 win streak apparently, even though our first 2 didn't really count. Let's roll some more and see how we end up doing. At Dallas last year, I played Buzzroc, and it went really well, though there are like a bunch of sketchy matchups for Buzzroc in expanded format. Yeah, you definitely don't want to see Vespa Queen, and like I said, Blastoise, Garbodor, Trevenant's probably bad too. There's like a lot of sketchy matchups, but the deck is just so powerful that if your opponent doesn't get everything they need, you can quickly just outspeed them, you can out-aggress them, and just make things happen there. But I attached my my strong energy to the wrong Pokemon turn 1, so we're like, abort, and go to the next one. All right, so final game here with our Buzzroc deck, and we've got ourselves a handful of supporters, but nothing else, so we'll mulligan that. And here we go. I don't mind this at all. We've got our Buzzwole champion out there in the active position. Last year at Dallas, I only played 2 copies of Buzzwole GX and 1 copy of Lucario EX. I think that Buzzwole GX is just probably the way to go now. And it looks like we're playing against a Greninja deck, so I am a little bit worried here. This matchup is not great for us. We need to try and go in and just be as aggressive as possible, and I need a turn 1 Beast or a turn 1 Strong Energy for sure. We want to take this knockout. I need to do 60 damage. That means that we need to get Diancie and a Strong Energy. So I'm going to Ultra Ball here for my Diancie. Hopefully she's in the deck. She is. And then we need to hit a Strong or a Beast. So I do have all 5 options there. We really like that. Just going to Sycamore and hope to hit it. And that's it. The 50 damage isn't going to cut it. I want more. So discard that basic fighting. Here's a Strong Energy. Fantastic. And we've got a Brooklet Hill, though that does help my opponent a little bit. So I do want to be wary of that. I also might just attach the Strong Energy, anticipating that my opponent has an Enhanced Hammer. Greninja decks do play Enhanced Hammer, so I might just attach that and then have the Beast Energy for next turn, since that Beast Energy is just the better of the 2. I think that I go in here, though, and probably Brooklet Hill for another Buzzwole and try to just get out of the gates as quick as I can. And just, yep, we're just going to do that. So let's get ourselves another Buzzwole here. We want to just get as many energy into play as possible. There's a fighting energy on the Buzzwole. That's great. And then we can max elixir again. And yes, so this is a fantastic turn 1 from us. We can see, like, doesn't really matter, even against decks that are not great matchups for us. The aggression from Buzzwole is just absolutely insane. Now we're threatening, if my opponent doesn't, they have to bench something. I could easily just bring that, bench Pokemon up. I'm also just jet punching, so sniping 30 is extremely good. They will take advantage of that, but they need a Frogadier really badly. Unfortunately, I won't be able to take a 2-prize turn here because Frogadier has 70 hit points. However, I am off to a great start. I can jet punch. I could knock out this thing in order to not allow my opponent to take that back. Like I said, I knew they would have the enhanced hammer there, so that is just for sure. Knew that was happening. And let's see how many Frogadiers they prized. 0 Frogadiers prized, so that's fine. I think I actually just want to Lycanroc up. Let's get ourselves probably. I mean, Sudowoodo would be cool. We could, limit my opponent's bench that way, which might be good. You never really know. Also, just, it's solid. And then, like, the Rockruff could be good as well if I want to Lycanroc again. But honestly, at this point, my opponent's going to be Shadow Stitching. So I have to be kind of wary of that. The Sudowoodo seems pointless. I think, we could put the Remoraid down, though. That is just bait for... Yeah, I think I'm just cool at this point. We might need to get out another Buzzwole and just start throwing energy onto it, So I think that's probably the plan here. We will get that beast energy there. Let's... I don't want to end my opponent at all, so... Let's see, is Guzma... Even I guess I probably should have considered potentially using Guzma here. But I want to... Let's just bring up... N is good for me now and bad for me later. So let's just bring up one of my opponent's bench guys here. That's fine. And then I can just N as well and bench that Buzzwole. That's cool. So we'll just N. And I'm thinking, like... We know that I needed to draw more cards, so we just had to do this. And then I'm thinking that this guy will evolve into a Greninja, which is fine. This guy might not evolve into a Frogadier, though, in which case I could jump ahead in prizes that way. So we are going to snipe that Froakie, and then that puts some pressure on my opponent to find themselves a Frogadier this turn. So that's pretty good, though we are getting Shadow Stitch from here on out, which means that my damage output's going to be nerfed. I don't have the Diancie's, Princess Cheers anymore to do more damage. I'm also not going to be able to utilize Lycanroc anymore. And you can see I didn't even bother setting up Octillery. We just know that Shadow Stitch is going to be kind of an omnipresent issue in this game. My opponent, going for the end there. And here it goes. Greninja pretty much wants to just end and Shadow Stitch from here on out. But if they can't find an enhanced hammer, we are going to be doing a significant amount of damage with that beast energy, which is just really, really good. So we'll be able to go in and jet punch for a ton to the active and hopefully knock out that Frogadier, go down to 3 prizes. We've already got a 2 energy Buzzwole here on the bench. If my opponent does knock out a Buzzwole GX, we hopefully are going to be looking for Beast Ring to be able to just, jam some more energy into play. But it looks like we are going to probably get end here. The question is, how many Greninjas can my opponent get into play before too many prizes get taken? If they only get like 1 Greninja here, that's going to be really tough for them, and they are going to be feeling that in the upcoming turns. Ideally, they want 3 Greninja. That would just be like nuts. If they get like 3 Greninja and a Frogadier over here, that we might just pack up the game, and that could be really bad. They do have at least 1 though with that Evo Soda, and I wonder if they'll choose. They'll probably choose a Greninja. They know that's the first order of business, that they need Greninjas in order to eventually get Greninja breaks into play. So they've got the Greninja on the active, and right now I'm doing 60 damage with my Jet Punch. They've got Silent Lab, which is interesting. So they might not even use Shadow Stitch because they just don't need to. They don't really need to Shadow Stitch this turn because I don't have Octillery out, right? I don't have anything really. So they may opt to just go in with a whole, oh, they have the Frogadier as well for their bench Froakie. That's like really big. That was a big hit for them. That's good because that double prize would have just been fantastic from me. I really want another energy so that I can start to go in, but it's looking like we're just going to be stuck here doing probably just short of enough damage. However, I do have these stadiums, so if they get greedy and they don't Shadow Stitch, I have the stadium in order to be able to do more damage. And that way, if I find a strong energy, I think I'm going to be knocking this Greninja out with Jet Punch, which would be big. And it doesn't look like they got the enhanced hammer here. So interested to see if they go Shadow Stitch or if they go Moonlight Slash. They might be feeling kind of confident and end of 4. You know, they've got... Yep, they are going for the Moonlight Slash. I love that. That's really good. So now I'm doing 80 damage. 80. I only need 20 more to knock this thing out. So let's see what we can get going here. I don't think I necessarily want a Super Rod yet, though. That's probably fine. We'll just Super Rod. I know I'm not going to be needing like too much more, so we'll just shove that 1 energy back into the deck. We'll counter this, and then we're just going to Colress. I could Guzma, I guess, and knock out this Frogadier. That just seems really bad. So I think we just go for a huge draw here and go for that strong energy. We've got it. That's fantastic. So that's really, really good. We could Jet Punch that for knockout. And we also, let's see, have Ultra Ball. We can thin our deck. We don't need the Choice Band. We don't need that Pseudo-Wudo. So I'll just get these things out of my deck, prepare for an incoming end. We know it's coming. I'll grab the Rockruff just in case, because bringing up things on my opponent's bench is really good. So we'll grab that, and then let's just, I guess I could have grabbed the Lycanroc. Probably would have been better, but that's fine. We're going to Jet Punch here for knockout, and then I guess we could put 30 more damage onto this Froakie. Just keep the pressure up and, you know, hope that my opponent can't actually, you know, evolve that next turn. We're going to keep putting pressure on these Froakies, going for that double prize turn. My opponent doesn't have like a Starmie out or anything like that. Otherwise, I would be putting pressure on the Starmie. My opponent really wants to end me here. They want to end me to 3, for sure. They also want to remove some of this energy with Enhanced Hammer. The energy on the active Buzzwole is a problem, though they should be able to just probably get a Greninja Breakout and knock me out with Greninja Break, with the with the giant Water Shuriken, and then a Shadow Stitching or a Moonlight Slash or something like that. I think it depends. So it depends on if they get the Choice Band, which they'll be able to do. They got the Staryu in play though. They've got a Greninja Break, so they're starting to stabilize. This is kind of the crux of the matchup though. They're going to end me to low. I have a pretty good board position, honestly. Like, I am pretty solid here, but it's very frail. I don't have any way to draw under ability lock. Obviously, the deck doesn't play a ton of supporters. It plays a decent amount. I mean, I do play like 4 N, 4 Sycamore, and 2 Colress, so I do still have supporters in the deck. But when you're getting N to 3, anything can happen here. So they would need a Choice Band to knock me out with Shadow Stitching. If they don't, then they're going to have to Moonlight Slash here, which would be good for me because then I would have the option to go get Lele or something to draw more cards and so on and so forth. So let's see. They're going to Moonlight Slash, so they're not going to limit my abilities. I also have a fantastic hand here ready to go. I don't have Guzma, but I could get Guzma off of the Lele and take a 2-prize turn, and I think I just win the game then. So that is really, really strong there. My opponent's at 4 prizes, but I don't really care. We're good just going in here, and I think I do 50 damage. Yep, so I do take a 4-prize turn. That's really, really strong. So let's just do that. We've got the computer search as well. We don't even need to play it. Let's just Brooklet Hill. And look, we do have 4 Guzmas in the deck, so that's insanely strong here. Let's just go ahead and computer search away the Rockruff and the... Oh, I probably should have gotten like the Remoraid or something. I don't know if I discarded that, but we'll go get rid of the Rockruff and the Brooklet Hill. I think that's probably, actually the Brooklet Hill seems good in case they, Let's get rid of that. That's fine. We're going to get ourselves the Guzma here. Awesome stuff. So we'll be able to Guzma. We'll be able to Beast Ring. Let's Beast Ring. We're going to accelerate 2 fighting energies. Throw them onto the Buzzwole here on the bench. Attach an energy here. And then Guzma, yep, we're going to be grabbing that Staryu. Take 2 prizes. Then we can also just Tapu Lele for a supporter next turn. I don't really mind that. Yeah, let's just grab a Sycamore out the deck or a Colress out the deck. Yeah, I really like that. So we'll just grab that. And that way we're just like ready to draw cards. My opponent has to end me to 1 in order to do anything. We're going to Jet Punch here, take those prizes. And my opponent, like I said, just hasn't been using Shadow Stitch, hasn't been leaning on that this game. They were kind of leaning on the Silent Lab that one turn, and it kind of came back to bite them. So they really wanted that to be, kind of be their strategy there to shut me down with Silent Lab. It just didn't work. We had the counter stadium. We're playing 3 copies of Brooklet Hill, so that was great. And they're going to go ahead and scoop it up. They know that I've pretty much got game on board there, so awesome stuff. Buzzroc still a fantastic deck overall. Let's take a look at the list I was rolling with there. Like I said, we may run into some problems with Zoro control. If they are able to remove your energy from play, you could play, like I said, the Energy Keeper Carbink. You can also play Carbink Break or some options to help get around that. Both Carbinks are really good against Seismitoad. Definitely really good options here, but this is just a very straightforward aggressive list. That's what it's built to do, and it does it pretty well. So thank you all so much for watching the video. Make sure to like the video, sub to the channel, ring that bell. Let me know what are you guys excited about seeing in expanded format as we gear up for the Anaheim Regional Championships. Peace.